This is SoundOff, Louisiana's premier television sports show. Coming to you from Sportsbook at L'Auberge Lake Charles. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
Welcome in, boys and girls, to another edition of SoundOff, coming to you from the Sportsbook at L'Auberge. Hey, it's Father's Day coming up this weekend, Father's Day
Big weekend.
Look, kiddos out there, just honor the dad. Just do whatever he wants, right? Just do it.
It's the only day we have.
The weekend, that weekend to-do
the only
list,
day we have.
just tear it up. Throw it away for the weekend. Let Dad watch the U.S. Open Golf Championship.
Your whole life is a fantasy.
Yeah,
You're going to sit there and tell me you get one day a year?
It's the only day we get. That's the only day where I can have a say in anything that goes on at my house.
One day.
One day.
SoundOff presented to you by our L Club.
Always.
L Club, that would be L'Auberge Casino Resort, and
Yes.
Matt Lundy and Lundy Law of Lake Charles. All right, on tap, let me get through this quick. The Saints open their final must-be-there mini-camp. It's going on this week. We'll break down the roster, strongest, weakest, and really Dennis Allen. What does he need to do to save his gig? We got into that. Speaking of head coaches, 3 new head coaches in the SEC. We'll kind of grade who has the toughest job coming up. And we're going to also throw a letter grade on McNeese's roster as it sits now with all the signees and the transfers and the like. Jay Johnson, LSU baseball. Are they in Omaha, Kevin? Are the Tigers in Omaha? Are the Tigers in Omaha? No, they're not.
That hurts.
But we'll lean on Hobbs in the middle and it was a low blow to see what LSU needs to do in the offseason because they lost a couple of pitchers. I don't know if that's a big factor or not.
I mean, and Scooter's going to say it happens all the time.
This is a tease. You don't want to go into a dissertation.
Defending national champions.
Sometimes that happens. And the PGA and Live Tour. Will we ever see them, co-mingle?
No.
We got that coming. All right, let's start with Gary Goff and the McNeese Cowboys and the recruiting. He talked in depth about all the transfers. We talked earlier in the week about all the new FBS talent, that whole thing. Put a letter grade on it. Now, I know you guys don't dig into it as deep as I do, but sheer numbers. This is the 3rd complete roster overhaul. And he's been there, this is his 3rd year.
Sheer numbers, you got to give him at least a B.
Yeah.
But
a lot of players.
There's a problem with sheer numbers, too.
Do you know how many players are on the roster?
116.
116.
The problem with that, and
that's a little bit.
Goodness gracious, they needed an influx of talent. But
and
when
bodies.
you've got 50 newcomers, something like that?
Over 50.
That's a lot of unknown pieces to put together in August.
Now, they're not all going to be
on top of that,
critical on the starting roster.
On top of those new guys.
But a bunch of them better be.
Well, you're right. No, a lot of them will be.
On top of that, with the new guys and everything, that's the ones that's going to stay and play. But you've got 3-4 new coaches.
Yes. You know, something I don't think we touched on it earlier in the week.
We don't talk about that a whole lot.
This coaching staff, receivers, D-line, wherever, I'm talking across the board, they've got to get better at developing and coaching these guys up. Not just in August, not just in late July and August, all through the year. And I'm not thinking that that's something they don't know. They got to coach these guys up.
And as a staff, when you go into those meetings, those coaches meetings and stuff, because they evaluate each player each day, every day.
Yeah.
As to what they do and how it fits into their system. If you don't have those players when you're looking at the film, Rick, that's buying into what you're doing, you better make some moves.
Well,
because it's too late to get into August saying, well, maybe it's going to work out.
Well,
you better look at what's in front of you and know.
Well, that's why you got to have the depth. That's why you got to have the depth to make those kind of moves.
Let's face it. I'm not saying they got to go worst to first.
I'm going to get in that in a minute.
But this is, golf, and rightfully so, has had a pretty good honeymoon at McNeese.
And I think he
but
knows
this
that.
is a big year.
He's
got to show some results this year.
This is a big year. Why it's a big year? Because his boss, A.D. Heath-Shore, has said on this show, he has said in press conferences, he has said it on his television show, Polk Nation, on CBS Lake Charles, on this channel, that they have to turn football around and they have to win games.
But Rick, this is the thing.
So it is a critical year.
This is the
and
thing
Gary
that
Goff
leaves
knows that.
And Gary knows that. He's been on the show. He knows that. But this is the thing that leaves no room for error or mistake. You've got a guy that came in for his very first year and won, which is Will Wade.
I was just about, you were right.
You can't tell me it can't be done.
Well,
can
I
you
don't know,
imagine?
it's apples to oranges.
And
but you're at the same school. But Rick, you're at the same school.
Apples to oranges.
I get that. But can you imagine, you saw the excitement in this community around Will Wade in basketball.
Exactly right.
Can you imagine
Oh,
if football did
through
that?
the roof.
Oh,
through the roof.
That's my point, Rick.
Look, I'm going to follow him quickly. I'm going to give this new roster. I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B because he plugged so many holes.
Yeah.
And some of the talent he's brought in, these guys will be good. McDowell will be good. A Citizen will be good. Curtis DeVille will be good. And he got in a couple of Ivy Leaguers that are seniors.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. He has 19 seniors now. They're going to play 1 year and they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
But they're kind of mercenary, right?
But you need 1 year to win, Rick.
Well, exactly. Seniors mean experience.
We're not
experience means you're going to be better.
We're not playing for next year, Rick. No.
Okay, so what's the turnaround year, guys? What's the turnaround year? Is it 6-6? Is it 7-5? Is it 9-3? What is it?
I would say a winning record.
Okay, so
what is that? So
that'd be 7-5. They play 12 games.
You get to 7-5.
No,
that's
6-6 might be acceptable.
That's pretty strong. 7-5.
I'm thinking 8-4.
6-6.
You're asking for too much now, Rick.
Probably dreaming.
You're asking for too much now.
I'm dreaming. He says I'm dreaming now.
6-6 gives you hope. Shows they're getting
Okay. The first month.
This team went home for
I know,
last
but I'm putting
year.
a lot on Clifton McDowell. I really am, and Curtis DeVille.
You're
but
asking for a lot with 8 wins,
the
Rick.
first month,
That's a lot.
if they beat Tarleton in Texas, and they come back at home and beat Southern, and they're going to lose to A&M, obviously, and then Stephen F. is coming off a 3-8 year. They could be 3-1.
Southern's going to be a
They
sold-out
could
game.
be 3-1.
Southern's going to be a sold-out game.
That doesn't matter. I'm talking about on the field.
It's going to be a sold-out game.
This team, it'll be tough. Tarleton will be the test. I'm just saying.
Let's take it game by game.
8-4. All right.
Let's take
The
it
Max
game
Bar
by
and
game.
Grill at the National in Westlake should be high in your lunch and dinner rotation. All the best and favorites are served up fresh, tasty steaks, burgers, seafood and salad, pool boys and gumbo. Open 7 days a week for family dining and a whole lot of fun. It's the Max in Westlake.
Story worth telling? It starts with Getaways specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at Le Berge Lake Charles.
There's nothing better than a game and great tasting Miller Lite.
It's less filling, Miller Lite.
Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.
What are you doing with the Johnson sofa?
They had a pipe break. Water leaked all over.
Really?
I'm a Roto-Rooter plumber.
Really?
We do water cleanup, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
What's bugging you? Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged.
We're back at the Sportsbook at Le Berge. SoundOff presented to you by locally owned and operated Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana. Experts in plumbing, drain, and they do water cleanup. Also brought to you by J&J Exterminating. Also locally owned and operated by your guy and my guy. Who would that be?
Yes.
That'd be Tim Broussard.
Tim Broussard is the guy.
He knows about pest control and taking care of pests and termites. That's J&J Exterminating.
He knows Kevin, he knows pests.
He's a fun guy to be with.
We know about pests, too.
He's a fun guy to be
all
with.
right, I'm just kidding. All right, next week,
Tim is.
outgoing McNeese University President Dr. Darrell Burkell. We've got some interesting questions. We're going to reflect on his 7 years as president. But I want to pick his brain about looking ahead, all right, and some of the problems facing that university. It'll be a fun interview and discussion. That's coming up on next week's SoundOff. All right, mandatory minicamp with the Saints. Everybody is there. Look, the strength of this team, we talked about it earlier in the week, is the secondary. I like this secondary because They got some lockdown corners and safety. Matthew back.
Yeah.
Jonathan Abram back.
Yeah.
And this young guy, he's the second-year player, Jordan Howell out of Minnesota. I think they'll be solid there. And I like the receivers if they stay healthy. And I think Mickey Loomis is going to have to bring in 1 or 2 more veterans. Agree or disagree? I'm talking about this offseason.
I agree with the secondary because let me say this, Rick. For once, the secondary, it may look like it can defend one-on-one and not have to worry about having
probably the strength
double up on different
defense
people.
right
but
now.
Chase Young is the guy I'm worried about. I mean, you bought him over.
He's got to
from
stay
Washington.
healthy. No, San Francisco, via
San Francisco,
Washington.
okay, yeah.
Are you a believer in Tyrann Mathieu? He's getting a little long in the tooth.
I love Honey
There were
Badger,
some
but
games where he just wasn't
got
physical
He
last
got
year.
beat in some areas to where, in his younger days, he would have never gotten beat. Wouldn't have never.
Well, I
He's
like him.
He's nearing the end.
I want him in. You want him in your secondary still.
As a leader,
Yeah.
Scooter, as a leader, yes.
I don't know how many more years you'll be able to say that.
As a leader, you'd want him back there as a leader.
Because he's will always be one of my all-time favorites.
He's a great guy. Great. The biggest problem clearly is the offensive line and the questions of Ryan Ramczyk, the veteran on the right side, and the young guy Trevor Penning. Where they're going to put him? Can he progress? And depth. That's the offensive line, guys. The offensive line. All right. Third year, Dennis Allen. You know what his record is? I'm going to check it, make sure I'm accurate.
Oh, we know.
16-18 over 2 years. 16-18. No playoffs. No South divisions. What does he have to do to save the job?
He has to make the playoffs, or he is a gone.
I would think so. I would think
guys,
so.
we discussed that this year, and he's still there.
He is still there.
Well,
look, this is the thing.
But they gave him. I'm sure Loomis and Miss Benson gave him some ultimatums.
Yeah.
I say 10-7. 10-7.
10-7. Ultimatums fair.
He's just, guys.
I mean, I always heard how many games you got to win. You hear this in college really more than the NFL. You know, what's the over/under to keep your job? That ain't, you don't know how a season's going to play off.
Injuries.
You can lose your whole life.
Let me say
You're
this,
right.
guys.
You're right.
When you look at,
but he better win.
When you look at players, and when you look at it, guys, this makes a difference too. Players play for coaches that they like playing for.
You just don't like this guy.
I'm not saying
you don't
that.
like his mannerisms. You don't like his
at,
style.
I do not like his mannerisms.
I
don't know what
his mannerisms are horrible. They're horrible.
Oh, his body
They're
language is last in the NFL.
I'm not going to argue that much.
I don't know what the players think about him,
Yeah.
but his body language it does not exude confidence.
No.
10-7. Got to beat the playoffs.
Of course, that fool with the Dolphins, he's a pretty good coach, apparently, in his body language.
I'd love to sit down and have a beer with that guy. We were
That
talking
dude's
about
something else, man. He's something else, man.
His name still escapes me.
Who is
Michael McDaniel.
Who is his game Taylor is what I want to know.
I don't know. He's a
man.
different cat. All right,
He is
speaking
a
of coaches,
different
the SEC, they got 3 new coaches in the league. Mike Elko with the Aggies, Jeff Levy at Mississippi State, and Kalen DeBar at Alabama. Who's got the toughest job?
Oh, that's
Alabama.
a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. Alabama.
No, Mississippi State.
Oh, are you kidding me? Alabama? He's following the legend. I know.
But that's my point.
No,
How did you miss that,
I'm
Scooter?
talking about
Dude,
navigating
you're
the
following
mountain.
Nick
That's
Saban.
why
No.
I make it. Let's rank them 1, 2, 3.
You're following Nick
because
Saban. You
Mississippi
crazy?
State, there's not much there.
They fired that other guy after just 1 year.
Yeah, after 1 year.
1 year.
And as I understand it, I think he's coming in, going to try to change, the way they do it.
You're talking about Jeff Levy.
offensively. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Come on, y'all. Y'all kidding me,
he
right?
may.
I agree with him.
What?
Now,
It's Stark Vegas,
I would
man.
agree. I would agree. DeBoer is second hardest because he isn't getting a honeymoon. I hope he knows
Well,
that.
that's a
Wait
good
minute,
point.
y'all. Wait a minute, y'all.
I
You
don't-
mean to tell me that coaching behind Nick Saban won't be the hardest job in the SEC?
No.
That's what y'all telling me.
No, I'm talking about winning and losing and transformation.
Yeah,
No.
but, he at least will have some players.
You saw the quarterback
Now, you're
he has?
right.
Let me tell you something. Guys, if Alabama doesn't go to the national championship game this year, they're going to want to fire that guy.
Oh, you're crazy.
They don't want to fire him.
You
Did
are
Saban
nutty.
go last year?
But it's what he developed at school.
Well, I
That's
agree
what,
with
That's
you.
what they expect.
And,
That's what they expect.
And that's why I would agree that
That's
that
what they
is
expect.
he has a very tough job. At least he does have some
I agree.
players.
It's
And
Levy.
Elko at A&M, he'll still
But
have
what
a
do you
bit of a
expect from Levy? Do
honeymoon.
you expect anything, Rick? But just to win a few games? Alabama is expecting to go to the national championship game.
I'm talking about just not this coming season, but overall.
But that's what I'm saying. What expectations do you have with this dude?
Speaking of tough,
you don't get a honeymoon in Alabama.
LSU baseball.
Right,
man. LSU baseball, they're not in Omaha. Tigers are not in Omaha.
Man, you know what? Leave it alone.
Come here, bring it to
Go ahead, all right, man.
All right, so Aiden Moffitt, Cam Johnson, gone to the transfer portal. Quickly, big deal.
Those were guys that probably figured in their plans next year, particularly Cam Johnson.
Is it just a redo for Jay Johnson, or he's got to get busy here?
Well, he'll have to get busy, but that's the way college baseball is now.
Jones,
Jared
Jones, is he going or not?
Oh, I think he stays.
Stays? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize this. I poked around a little
Jared,
bit.
50-50 on him.
Gavin Guidry, Gavin Guidry, he's draft eligible. I didn't realize that. He's a sophomore or junior draft eligible?
No, he's a sophomore.
Sophomore draft eligible.
Age.
Sophomore. Are we up against the clock? I think we're up against the clock. We got to go. We're coming right back. Stay right there.
Having too much fun.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
J&J Exterminating is here for you with our water damage sanitation treatments and wood protective borate treatments. There is no charge for home evaluations. Contact your local J&J Exterminating professional.
Hey, mister, are you a Roto-Rooter plumber?
Guilty.
Did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Toilet overflow?
Nope.
Pipe break?
Getting warmer.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
How long can you hold your breath? Is that your real hair? What's the birds and the bees? Do you know where my grandma is?
You know, I don't know.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
There's nothing better than a game and great tasting Miller Lite.
It's less filling, Miller Lite.
Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.
What's bugging you? Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
All right, thanks for hanging with us. We are SoundOff coming to you from the Sportsbook at LaBerge.
Yes.
We always thank you for being here because look, we know there's a lot out there. A lot of streaming things with Hulu and Apple and Netflix and all that stuff.
Everything.
Talking heads. We're the best talking heads.
Always.
Guidry, of course, is constantly talking heads.
But I'm always right.
Well, no, I'm always right. But anyway,
always
happy
right.
Father's Day week's coming up.
Yes.
Honor those dads. Honor those dads. All right, look. Earlier in the week, reports were filtering out in college baseball that former LSU head baseball coach Paul Maneri was expected earlier in the week. Reports were that will be named South Carolina's new head baseball coach. Coming out of retirement, Paul Maneri.
We're talking Tuesday, and I just got this. By the time this airs Thursday, I think we'll know. But
this is big news.
It is. It is. Wow.
I mean, what, 3 years in retirement because of he had some health and neck issues.
Well, he had a bad neck.
Yeah.
And after he retired, I do know it got better. So.
And, of course, the Gamecocks fired their coach, Paul Maneri, back in the game, back in the SEC. Wow. That's pretty cool.
That was new.
Yeah, all right. Omaha, of course, that's coming up
was
this
a
weekend.
coaching
College World Series.
Man.
College World Series. All right, Father's Day tradition, U.S. Open this weekend coming in from Pinehurst. You mentioned about Pebble Beach being your bucket. I had a bucket list, and Pinehurst was my bucket list a couple of years ago. I got to go to number.
Anywhere near that one.
I got to play the historic U.S. Open course number 2 and number 4. Like you, I mean, Pebble Beach, but Pinehurst, you get a chance.
Have you been?
Yeah. Huh?
You did number 2?
I did number 2.
Well, I've heard that's one of those courses.
Oh, it was devilish.
If you're not a you're not a plus handicap, you got no business.
It's a devilish.
Getting near it.
I don't want to tell you what I shot, but it would shock you.
Yeah,
You'd fall
okay.
under the table. It was a pretty good score. I don't want to brag, but I had a caddy. Anyway, let's not bore people with that. All right, the U.S. Open at Pinehurst this weekend. Guys, I have been waiting.
How many holes you pick up on?
That's what I'm saying, Scooter.
No, I don't.
You don't want to
that.
discuss it, Scooter.
No, I don't do that.
You
Look,
don't want to discuss it.
PGA Tour. If you're gonna force
mulligans,
I shot an 87.
What?
I shot an 87 on number 2 with a lot of help. All right, let's get on.
What you would shoot on the 3rd hole?
All right, the PGA. My game's gotten a little better. The PGA Tour and the Live Tour. Remember, it was what? Has it been a year and a half since? PGA and the Saudis were going to get together. That hadn't happened. Congress is involved.
It's not going to happen.
Is it ever going to happen?
No, it's too much money, Rick, involved. It's not going to happen.
Oh, so there will be some kind. No time soon.
No time soon.
I don't see it the next 2 or 3 years.
Too
but
much
at
money
some
involved,
point,
guys.
But you know, if they wait too long, the names that the PGA Tour is missing now won't be long in the tooth.
You're right.
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson is getting up there.
I mean,
now,
there will be no reason for the PGA Tour to welcome in a bunch of no-names.
And the Live Tour guys can only they can play in the majors, but they're not crossing over to the PGA. And look, Live Tour, it's goofy. The 54 holes. They play on second-rate courses. The tournaments have no history. That whole thing.
Well, I like the way you talk about those guys.
No, they're not.
I think
nobody wants highlights. Nobody cares about the Live Tour.
Look at the money these guys are making.
Exactly my point. Can you imagine?
They have to, because see, their game, you can buy mulligans in the pro shop before you go.
Can you imagine the PGA Tour guys in 5 years, let's say, they bring back those guys after their bank accounts are now 400 million richer?
Yeah.
And you know, the PGA guys don't get compensated?
No.
I'd be royally pissed.
Oh, you should be. Yeah. You should be, Rick.
You better throw some money my way.
You should be, Rick. Wow.
This is
man. That's crazy.
I have no interest in the Live Tour. I watch golf a lot.
Me too. And I don't know that I have seen. I wouldn't know where to find it on TV.
It's on the CM network. Because they're not televised. Even all the sports media out there, be it social media or broadcast media, nobody runs Live Tour highlights. Nobody. Nobody cares about the tournament.
It's like what used to be known in golf as the silly season. They don't really have it anymore because it's just about year round.
That's right.
But you know, the silly season when they're playing left-handed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There was a recent announcement that the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan, entered into an agreement. It's a multi-billion-dollar agreement with another, and I'm getting in the weeds here, but somebody else was going to infuse a lot of money in the PGA Tour, a sports marketing company. That should happen because they're U.S. based. Congress doesn't want this entity of the PGA Tour to get involved with Saudi money, the public trust.
No. You can't touch Saudi money, Rick. Leave it alone.
I'm kind of with you, Kevin.
Leave it alone,
I'm kind of with you.
You cannot
So,
touch it.
I don't know. The Live Tour guys, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rand, and Brooks Koepka at Pinehurst this weekend. Might be fun.
Should be fun.
NIL money in high school athletics. 31 states have approved NIL for high school athletes. Louisiana being one of them. 31 plus the District of Columbia. Texas has not. Like it or not, I don't like it.
Oh,
it's a slippery slope.
I don't like college, so you can imagine.
You're anti-NIL in college?
To a degree. I think, well.
When you say, I guess.
There got to be some guardrails, and there aren't.
And they're not, and that's not coming anytime soon. But high school, Kevin?
Wish they would have had it when I played,
It's legal in the state of Louisiana. Passed the laws about it. I haven't heard of anything locally.
I'm tired of hearing you
giving some money.
That's $2.
Oh, $2. I'd keep that $2. Look, all those. Okay,
I'll never see that $2
again. All right, let's take Sam Houston baseball. Let's take Sulphur baseball and Bar baseball. Okay, just isolate those because they've got a lot of their players go on to LSU and
big
D1
schools and play.
Or any local companies selling out any? I haven't heard of anything. In Louisiana.
When you look at it, Rick, this is my thing. And maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but it's hard to advertise a kid that's under the age of 17. I mean,
How do you do
How
that?
do you advertise a kid that young?
You could.
Yes, you could, Scooter. But what would the advertisement be on a kid that's 17 years of age?
I'm with you. Hey,
I don't want to be
local car wash. Come to this car wash.
What are you going to advertise? What for a kid that young?
I don't know. I just, Florida was the latest big state to approve it. When I started doing some I thought Texas had it, but Texas is holding back.
College, I can see it for college.
What is a chronic problem in high school athletics? Recruiting. And if you can have NIL to recruit.
Recruiting is over with, Scooter. There's no such thing as recruiting now. It's called NIL. Recruiting is over with.
I'm talking about high school.
You're talking about high school. We're up against the clock. Guidry,
I don't know.
And Hobbs. Have a great Father's Day weekend. We'll see you next time, everybody.
It's totally changed the world.
Hey, mister, did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
If it's a story worth telling, it starts with Getaways specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at Le Berge Lake Charles.
There's nothing better than a game and great tasting Miller Lite.
It's less filling, Miller Lite.
Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.
Simply Spiked Lemonade. Made with real fruit that fell from its tree and rolled right into the party.